Yes, I know it took me like 3 weeks to watch The King of Kings, but you know what? Schedules and a lot of other movies, and me knowing that this movie would be super packed until after Easter. So I thought, you know what? Let's give it a shot. Is it worth that 50 million it's made in a little over 2 weeks? Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing The King of Kings. What's about pretty simple premise? We're telling the story of Jesus from birth to death, and while we're doing that, we're telling it in Charles Dickinson, and he's doing it to tell his son who the real King of Kings is, because his son is really into King Arthur, and he's like, you know what? I have a story for you. It's about a king, but it doesn't have wizards or dragons, and I think you will like it. And I think it's a very heartwarming story for kids to enjoy, because when you do have these Christian movies coming out, I mean, they are mature themed, because I mean, it is a pretty violent story. I mean, Passion of the Christ is rated R. The Chosen is more of a TV 14 show. The Last Supper is PG 13. And a lot of Angel Studios, even though they're not really like Jesus based, but a lot of them are PG 13 movies. There's very few Angel Studios PG movies. I think this is one of them. The Last Rodeo is going to be one of them. I think they had one more. Oh, yeah, Rule Breakers. So they've, religious movies, I'm not going to say they should be PG-13, but MPAA loves to give Christian movies, a stronger rating for some reason. I do think there's bias on that level. Anyway, when talking about this movie, I think it does its job and it does it well. It tells the story for kids to like and enjoy, as well as adults, with the animation, the pacing, as well as the funness of like getting everyone involved. What I mean by that is, sure, you could just tell the story of Jesus from point A to point B to point C to the crucifixion, but adding the boy, Charles Dickens, and the cat into the story, weaving it together, and having them kind of like, even though Charles Dickens is telling the story, but while he's telling it, the kid is acting like he is in, you want to call it 1 AD or 1 BC, before Christ, after the death. You guys put it that way, if I'm really be honest, in that area of time. Yeah, I really like how they did that, because it kind of proves that, everyone has their own rendition and everyone kind of can see it and witness it differently. Animation, like I said, is good. It's the voice casting that you're like, oh, really? It's like, okay, we have Kenneth Branagh, interesting. Uma Thurman, all right, we'll keep going. Forrest Whitaker, oh, we'll keep going. Ben Kingsley, what? Mark Hamill, okay, even though he's kind of a commie. And then we have like Oscar Isaac, and it just keeps going and going. And you're just like, oh, Jim Cummings, the one who voiced Winnie the Pooh. You're just like, damn, this is a good voice cast. And this is a South Korean budget. A lot of people probably didn't realize that. They're probably thinking, oh, whatever. But then it goes, Korean director, Korean writer, Korean producer, Korean editor. So this is very much a Korean heavy produced movie. And I think it's a huge success for them. And I did check, this is this guy's first director movie, and he did a great job. Like I said, the writing's good. You could say that it really goes to the very specific parts of the Bible where everyone's heard about, the crucifixion, the persecution. Oh yeah, Pierce Brosnan's also in this. The fish scene, him telling, the blind to see, stretcher, get up, walk home, Judas kissed on the cheek, ear. So you do have these predominant scenes that are very, important and known in the story, and people might be like, oh, but I've seen it a million times that way. Sure, but has a kid. Usually the kid doesn't get the cradle to grave story and have these little specific details, like, Judas kissing Jesus on the cheek, knowing who he is, and the ear getting chopped off. How many stories actually have that rendition? Not a lot for kids, and so I think that does it really dang good. Like I said, the animation, some people might say it looks cheap, but I think it does its job, where it's like some scenes are like, yeah, you could tell it's kind of like doesn't have the best budget, but the other scenes are like, yep, that's where they use it pretty damn good, especially with the water scenes and things like that. And on a $15 million budget, it's succeeding. It is succeeding very well in the box office, because Angel Studios really doesn't do a lot of marketing, and $15 million to make it. So I'm going to say $22.5 million totally. They already times two. Angel Studios made money, and I think the South Korean director will have more projects in the future, because with the trailers, Zero AD, the director of Uh, Sound of Freedom has its own movie, a new movie coming out as well. That looks pretty interesting with Sam Worthington and Jim Caviezel as well. You could say some negatives. It is a rushed movie when it deals with the storytelling, but like I said, this is for kids to understand what is occurring on screen. And I'm pretty sure a lot of critics, you could tell like with Sound of Freedom with this, that when you read the reviews, you could just hear the angst or the anger about movies like this. And then when they know that it's succeeding, I think it makes them more angry. Where it's like, why are you mad that, a low budget movie is making movie money for movie theaters and audiences liking it, and for studios to make more movies? Don't you want more movies in the theater rather than Netflix or Amazon Prime, like G20? Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, negatives, like you could say, it's formulaic, sure, but it's not really for the crowd like me who've seen this story been told over and over again. It's for the kids to have a more kid-friendly version. So, The King of Kings, I enjoyed it. I think kids will enjoy it, and I think overall audiences will enjoy it. While critics, I think they are warming up to Angel Studios. They should enjoy this one as well if they know who the audience it's for. So, The King of Kings will receive a 4 out of 5 Futons, which equals that 80%. So let's see the critics and user scores gave this one. So we have critics a 65% with 52 of them, audience score a 98% with over 1,000. And what do you know? No critic consensus. One audience goes, it feels a bit rushed. I know the target children audience, so it can't be too long, but still. Well, if you know who it's for and you're still dogging it, Anyway, so weird how this doesn't have a critic consensus Rotten Tomato. It seems like you're a little bit biased. 65, 80, 98. Chase out here, the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One of these Futontopia. You Blue Tony, and thank you for watching. For a great day on Watch Stay tomorrow week around within your frown. Every single freaking one of you. Peace and love, peace and love. And what is your best rendition of?